As we enter the second half of the regular season, you can feel it. Things are getting spicy out there.
With Ian Cole's big butt in his face.
This week was once again filled with action. From incredible saves, a freaking goalie goal. Some world-class goals scored, world-class flow, wow. Milestones being hit, bodies being hit, a fan being hit with the puck.
Bang! Oh, wow.
And Brady Tkachuk being straight up classy.
Tkachuk just waved at the referee and said he wasn't hit with a high stick.
We also had some of the strangest NHL history being made, and of course, some awesome sound bites.
Hockey players, you want to have large rears.
I think I just saw it. I don't think we'll be able to air it.
The gracious host this whole time we've been here.
You doing that on purpose?
Everyone else on the ice has minors.
So let's get to it. Starting with Ovechkin on the 19-year anniversary to the day of this historic goal, of course, would be the one to score and take the dub in Ottawa, keeping their stretch going. Meaning he's just 21 away from the all-time goals record. But further, he also caught another victim in Marylainen, marking the 179th goaltender he has scored on. Officially taking that record from Jágr, as here are all of the goalies he scored on. My Atlanta, dude is the goalie Grim Reaper.
Go back to sleep.
But speaking of goalies, Alex Nedeljkovic, who is on that list by the way, made some NHL history himself this week, becoming the first goaltender to not just record an assist, which he did on this goal, but with the net empty, he would also record a goal on the night, becoming the first goaltender to ever score a goal and an assist in the same game.
Fight away from a Gordie Howe.
Now, not only that, he also stopped 40 shots that night, so while he was a fight short of a Gordie Howe hat trick, I think we just saw him pioneer something new. I'm calling it the Netty Hattie. Over in Chicago, we saw Bedard become the fastest teenager to 100 points since Sidney Crosby, which is pretty cool, right?
Right now, I couldn't care less. Just frustrated now.
Someone get this poor kid some help. Lastly, McDavid also made some history this week with his 1,044th point to pass Jari Kurri for second most in Oilers history, which, when you consider that this was him hitting .906 just a year ago, that's kind of mind-melting. But what got way more attention was that the best player in the world got suspended this week after he and fellow Conor Garland had a wrestling match that seemed to last longer than Bissonnette's career. McDavid saw the human-sized ketchup bottle in the stands and saw red, literally cross-checking Garland in the head, and yeah, can't be doing that. What's crazy is that right after, Myers laid one on Booch away from it all, which, my theory here, this was some big brain giraffe energy. If I get suspended, then they'll be forced to suspend McDavid. Sherwood on the bench gets it, but yeah, McDavid would get a match, Myers would get a match, but
Everyone else on the ice has minors.
That's right, just for existing. But with that, again, it was a week filled with the nasty, so let's get right to it.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
In Jersey, it was Tkachuk laying a huge hit on Hischier, which would lead to everyone wanting a piece of Tkachuk, resulting in this absolute classic, hang it in the Louvre. Over in Boston, it was Koepka getting a full dose of radish, as this one put him on IR. Heading up to Toronto, it was Dumba sitting down Domi, and then Armia here, no stick, no problem, as he stayed plenty effective. But what was maybe my favorite sequence was O'Brien here, thinking they're dropping the gloves, but Tucker had other plans. Tucker would fire one off the face-off, and O'Brien, he's just disappointed. However, next face-off, and Spicy Tuna would get his wish, but yet I'm not sure that went as planned either. I love it. Heading to Washington, we had Vetrano sending Wilson into the Ducks bench. What a nice moment. And similarly, Brady Tkachuk decided to help Boston with a line change. And then, while we saw McDavid lay that cross-check already, it was a busy week for him, handing out a chicken wing in Minnesota, and also getting into it with Laferriere here as they had an MMA-style showdown. Back in Toronto, we saw Xhekaj absolutely steamroll Ryan Reaves, which, speaking of him, you know it's going well when you're icing the noggin, as we had a gong show of a game in Montreal, completely complete mayhem all game. I mean, are you not entertained? And for the main event, Rempe versus Wi-Fi, which I have to say, Xhekaj has to be the heavyweight champ right now, right? And finally, we had Torts absolutely incensed on Long Island. Go f yourself. It's a f***ing headshot. He f***ing done. Which came after Siplikov caught Paling up high with a nasty looking hit, and while called a major at first, it was reversed and resulted in no penalty. So you can understand the frustration because he would end up getting a 3-game suspension. Make it make sense. But I think that's enough of that, so let's cleanse the palate.
He's got a mic on. We'll see what he says about that. I think I just saw it. I don't think we'll be able to air it.
All right, not bad. Let's try another.
With Ian Cole's big butt in his face. Hockey players, you want to have large rears.
All right, so let me welcome you to a little Sabres hockey.
It's there from McLeod, and his stick is snapped in half.
That right there is history, folks. Burns chopping down McLeod on the breakaway with the net empty meant that instead of a penalty shot, it was a freebie, which happened to be McLeod's third of the night for his first ever Hattie. But even crazier, the Sabres recorded 0 shots on net the entire period, meaning this was the first time in NHL history a team scored a goal with 0 shots in that period. Heading over to Ottawa, we saw the rookie debut of Donovan Zabrango, and the footage of his mom was incredible. She was fired up out there. Just awesome stuff. Now, Carolina fans, you ever wonder how many Red Bulls Jarvie drinks in a game?
Just one periodically throughout the game. I got to watch my heart.
Then here we had a fan in Philly get hit in that dome with a puck as he was rocking a nice goose egg. And folks, let me present to you Mario Ferrero. That's all. There's nothing else here other than some incredible flow on the young man, worthy of a shout out. Anyway, this was pretty great. In New Jersey, after Tkachuk appeared to catch a high stick in real time, this was a clear call, and yeah, the arm went up, but he immediately waved them off in something I did not have on my bingo card, but classy stuff nonetheless. Speaking of classy, this clip went viral this week of Jessica Campbell taking time to sign a sweater on the bench. And what's better than that? Watching it yourself on TV the next game. And Hockey Night in Canada gave us whatever this was.
A gracious host this whole time we've been here.
And here's another classic Leon interview.
You doing that on purpose? No, you got it.
And I also wanted to highlight the wild Original Six matchup in Montreal between the Canadiens and the Maple Leafs, where the Habs got up to a 3-goal lead. They were feeling great, as they should. Reaves wanted to get some energy back, while Xhekaj was like, look at the score, buddy. Get that noise out of here. Well, the Leafs would end up coming back with 1, then 2, then 3 to square it up before the 4th, 5th, 6th unanswered, and add a 7th for good measure as we went from this to this real quick.
Well. How the turntables.
Now, a big part of this comeback was on the shoulders of Joseph Woll, coming up with several fantastic stops. This one, maybe the best of the night, as he robbed Suzuki with the knob. And so with that, let's get to the goalies. Jakub Dobes remained red hot. Some massive stops in overtime against the Rangers would lead to his 5th straight victory, marking a perfect 5-0 start to his career against the reigning champs, the Avalanche, the Capitals, the Stars, and the Rangers. What a start from the young man. Heading over to Edmonton, it was Stuart Skinner coming up huge, gets enough of it here to rob Kempe as it lands on top of the net. And another week, another Dustin Wolf highlight as he made a beauty of a save in Chicago. Maybe would have hit the post, but I'm going to count it. In Tampa, I'm going to say it, I've got a suspect for that Malkin home burglary this week. It's Andrei Vasilevskiy as he committed grand larceny on McTavish. And then in Chicago, it's, oh no, stay in your, wow. Okay, what, maybe I'm wrong about all this. As Georgiev also proved me wrong, I think I need to self-reflect. Back to that Rangers-Canadiens game, we saw Quick lose his stick and immediately just grab Slafkovsky's. Thank you very much, as you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, just ask Kyle Connor slide into his own net, where if you're gonna be there, make yourself useful, as he kept one out for Comrie. Similarly, in Utah, it was John Marino with a wide open net, able to come across and keep this one out. Fantastic. And rounding it out for the goalies, we got some great stuff from them. First, with Swayman in Ottawa, it was a chance for Allmark's son to let Uncle Sway know he misses him. Got the signs up, and during warm-ups, he got to reunite with him for a bit, which was obviously cool to see. And lastly, the Wild brought in Cameron First through Make-A-Wish, as he got to spend a day with Marc-Andre Fleury, getting some tips on pushing off, and yeah, just always great to see this kind of stuff. But with that, it leaves just the goals of the week, and what better way to kick it off than with a natty hattie in the opening period, as Kyle Connor did just that against Vancouver. In Columbus, it was Marchenko with a beauty in the shootout, one-handed to take it. Heading to Tampa, it was Kucherov just carving up Detroit casually, a tremendous goal. He makes this look way too easy. Beautiful. But in the PWHL, it was Sarah Nurse making it look easy. Bats this out of the air. What hand-eye to get it right to Hannah Miller for the goal. And then the Stars had several this week. First, Matt Duchene with a between-the-legs beauty in Toronto. Before, again in Colorado, it would be Duchene with another pretty one. From nearly the goal line, he's somehow able to zip this top cheese. And yet, Robertson says, I can do you one better. From below the goal line, banks one off of Wedgwood to score. But don't blink, just 39 seconds later, and it's deja vu as he does it again. Banked in another one from a crazy angle. But given the Avs some love, we had McKinnon just dog-walking Bouchard in Colorado to score a nasty one. Beautiful stuff from the dog, but as fate would have it, Bouchard would have the last laugh, an absolute piss missile for the GWG. And finally, in Nashville, this was incredible. Kittle chugging a beer coincided perfectly with the Predators scoring. But I think that's going to about do it for me this week. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you in the next one.